In this video, we're still walking through Scale Insights, and in this video, we will be talking about a feature in Scale Insights called keyword ranking. As we're going to see, it's more about keyword tracking than keyword ranking, but it is essential to the process of ranking. And let's get into it. All right, so just to make it simple, as always, we start off with the dashboard. When you fly out the screen, you will see keyword ranking. The subheader is more accurate. It is a keyword rank tracker. And as you can see, they start you off on a basic screen, which gets interesting pretty quick. So we'll start off with the most basic part. Here you can see that it says tracking keywords 121 out of 500. On the most basic plan, I'm not sure if this is a copy of the most basic plan, but on the plan that this is connected to, you get 500 keywords. Depending on how many you need, whether it's many keywords for one product or whether you have many products, you may need more than 500 keywords, and there are plan upgrades for that. It's typically not expensive on a per keyword basis. Just keep track of it so that you're not tracking things with like 4 searches. All right, so once you're there, you'll go into bulk keyword uploads. You cannot upload keywords individually, so you'll do it with a bulk file. It's not difficult. Once you click that, there's a template to download. You'll fill it in. There's a couple of fields for, I believe, for the SKU and for the actual keywords you want to track. Create it, upload it, and you're good. All right, so the starting point here is a list of all the product that you have in your account, and you can see them here. And you start off with some data about the products. You've seen these data in other parts of Scale Insights and, of course, in Amazon. But this is the starting point so that you can identify products you want to look into. You've got your sales during the time period we're reviewing. I think it defaults to whatever is the, let's see here. Does it tell us what our time frame is? Oh, interesting. It doesn't tell us. I'm going to assume that this is the time frame which is defaulted on the dashboard. So whatever time frame you pick there, you've got the profits. In this case, it is negative for this one. So we may want to look into what's happening here. You've got your ACoS, you've got your TACoS. A 30.5 TACoS will almost always lead to negative profits unless you're in a super high margin product. So that might be why this is negative. Your ad spend, PPC units, etc. This gives you an idea of where you want to look at first. You will more likely want to look at something which is losing money so you can make adjustments than you are at a winning product. If all of your products are winning, then you'll be looking at things like increasing market share or bringing up products from the back and strengthening them. But once you get into that, things get interesting. You can click either here or here. The views it gives you are pretty similar. So once you click on either of those, it'll take you to a screen that looks like this. These are all of the keywords you've selected to track for this ASIN. All right. So you can see here, clear boxes for treats, clear favor boxes, etc. Clear box all the way down. Chocolate box is empty. There's a whole bunch of keywords that you're tracking here. As you get to the bottom, you can select how many keywords you want on one page, and you'll be able to go through the pages, of course. Nothing groundbreaking there. And here we've got search query performance data. So search query performance data is the data that Amazon gives us in their search query performance report. It gives you an idea of what the marketplace is doing for this keyword and how you're doing compared to the marketplace. When you look at the flyouts, in case you don't always want to keep going back to this video, you'll see information about what is contained in each of the pieces of data. As you can see here, well, this makes it clearer. This is weekly data from July 13th to August 9th. I think that's 2 weeks. Scale Insights will also get data from your top performing ASINs, starting with the last week up to 8 weeks ago. You can change the dates up here. Here, we're talking about a several week period, and you can change it as needed. This tells you about where the data is coming from. Once you get into these, they'll tell you about each of these. So query volume is the number of times people looked for the product during this time period. You can see here, it's close to 3,000. The market conversion rate is what all of the ASINs in this little space are doing for the product. So everybody's average conversion rate is 5.6%. ASIN conversion is the actual ASIN we're talking about, in this case, this one, and they're at 556 for this example. In some cases, you will be better than the marketplace, which is what you'd like to do. And in some cases, you are way behind the marketplace, in which you'll want to diagnose what's going on. The delta conversion is just the measurement and percentage of where you are compared to that. Here you are negative 0.05%. Here you are 17% better. Purchase share is your share of the purchases from all the SKUs that are getting sales for the SKU. Basically, it's your ASIN purchases divided by the total purchases that it shows, your sales, your ACoS, your conversion rate, spend, units, CPC, break-even bid, P&L, and here's where it gets interesting, your keyword ranks. Basically, what the system does is it tracks every single day going back the time period you're selecting. So you can see it goes back to July 13th. And this is your keyword rank every single day during that period. You can see that for these products, these are pretty steady. This is in like the low teens to single digits pretty steadily. Here it spikes up a little bit, which Going from like 14 to 27 actually is a big difference, and you'd want to look into why that happened for a day. Here's something interesting you can see. They started out at 97 plus, which means you're not really ranking effectively at all. But apparently with some sort of push, you're into the 40s, but you are tipping back down into the 97, and you're not as good as you were at the best during this ranking process. I've mentioned it in other videos. It would be great if you could freeze this right here, but right now you can't. So you might just want to download this data. You can see you can download it right here. All right, so you can see where you are here, and depending on the holes you see, you may want to focus on these keywords to improve your performance. You might want to do it when you're not indexing at all, or you might want to do it when you are 10 and you'd rather be 3. So you can see this keyword was number 5 for a few days, and that's good. I imagine that the sales on that day are going to be noticeably better than they were when you're 11 or 12 or certainly 28. So nudging up to those top few spots can make significant differences. You'll want to weigh it against your actual inventory if you can support it and whether you want to invest the money in it. But if you do, whether it's to rank properly or whether it's to capture the marketplace, Scale Insights makes it easy to do with this launch keyword campaign with a break-even bid. So essentially, if you've decided that you want to capture the market for a clear box, you see there's almost 10,000 searches, you feel like you can get more sales than one, and you'd like to try and drive sales to that keyword, I actually recommend, if you can afford it, to try and lose money, because you want to get the clicks and you want to get the sales, and any money you lose is really investment into rank. And the goal is, if you can invest the right amount of money, something that's not too excessive, maybe 2, 3, 5% of your margin, below 2, 3, 5% of your margin, you should get a bigger boost than the amount of money you invest. Those calculations are endless. Maybe one day if you come on the lives with Jeff, he'll help you calculate those if he hasn't done it already. But this tool lets you launch those single keywords. This is basically a trend which pivots a little bit, and it takes the performance data that you can see here, PPC sales, profit, cost, and pivots it into the weekly frames. So you can see here the organic rank was 57, and when your organic rank was 57, here are your sales, and you can see how they roll every single day. Let's take a look at one of the top keywords. All right, so this populates it much more. And you can see here that when you were at rank 15, you sold organic rank is 15 and your sponsored product rank was 13. In this position, you could see how many orders and units you got. Again, this is like sample data, but you should see a certain number of sales here when you were at this rank, and you could see a certain number of sales here at this rank, and you should be seeing that here the sales are not great. Here the sales are a lot better. And let's see if any of these, you should probably see that at 11 and better. You know, the higher your keyword ranks go, the more you should see all of these numbers improving. Conversion rates, CPC might go up or down, but your conversion rates should go up. Impressions should go up. Clicks should go up the closer you get to the top of the page. All of these measurements should measurably improve. Profits will depend on CPC versus the rest during the ranking process. But once you're sitting organically at the top positions, it should lead to much better results overall. That's essentially the foundation of most advertising on Amazon, is to use marketing to increase your organic ranks. And when organic rank is high enough, it balances out your investments in ads. This will guide you towards getting to those organic rank positions with data on where you're at with regards to organic ranks. And this, in a nutshell, is the tool. It really is as simple as having your keywords, seeing your ranks over time, and taking actions on them. Now, your actions can vary a lot more than simply splitting out a campaign. It can do with pulling back on ads or investing more in existing ads, but this will give you the guidance to get to where you want to be at. I believe in one of these screens, let's see, it should actually tell you even the campaigns associated with this keyword. Where are we at? There we go. So when you click on keywords, if you click on other keywords, it will actually give you more. So if this keyword is in a few different campaigns, you'll be able to see them and see where you're going with them. They don't let you click right into the campaign to make adjustments directly. I think it's on the roadmap, but for now, you'll be able at least to see the targets and make changes. And that, in a nutshell, is what you have in terms of keyword ranking. It's pretty quick to go through, but it is a really foundational and important piece of managing your advertising. Work with it. If you have any thoughts on it, let us know. We do have the ear of the developers at Scale Insights. I don't know how much it helps all the time, but we've got it. And work with this. We'll see you in the next video.